You know what day it is, T-Rex? It's D-Day. That is D for Decision Day. Decide what porch furniture to move, what grills to maybe put away, or at least inside, even though there's going to be beautiful weather coming on Sunday. There is a tropical storm warning in effect for the coast of New England from Rhode Island to Maine, even though first thing I saw this morning on the National Weather Service website when I clicked on tropical storm warning, I went to my neighborhood, Quincy, Weymouth, Quincy specifically. Tropical storm force winds not expected. Yet the warning continues. I think the warning comes from the National Hurricane Center, and these things are tough to backpedal on. So, even though tropical storm conditions are not expected in the Boston area, there's still a warning. Here on Cape Cod, the warning is legit. Tropical storm conditions are imminent. Right now, down near the ground, the wind is from the northeast. We're already gusting past 25 knots on Nantucket Sound. But up in the sky, the wind is from a completely different direction. There are the clouds coming from the northeast above the poplar tree. Let's look at the satellite imagery this morning. Look at the clouds streaming north, well up to the northwest side of Hurricane Lee. That's tremendous flow aloft. The difference between down near the ground, here are the graphics, 925 millibars, that's about 2,500 feet above sea level. The air is from the north and northeast at 20 to 30 knots and getting stronger as the day goes on. Now let's go to the top of the atmosphere, up to 40,000 feet. This is 200 millibars, and the air there in Maine, that gold, is from the opposite direction, from the southwest at 150 knots. The lowest 20,000 feet of the atmosphere, the air is aligned from 500 millibars and points down. So this is no longer really a hurricane. It's becoming a post-tropical or extratropical storm. The temperature on Mount Washington this morning was 37 degrees with a wind from the, southwest, I think. Maybe northeast. I didn't check the direction. Anyhow, the point is it's cold air feeding into this hurricane, and that's going to make it into a post-tropical storm. I'm going to call it nor'easterly from now on because it is going to have the equivalent of a nor'easter. Let's get right to the timing. The wind is going to ramp up as the day goes on. And once again, I'm going to show this Chatham from the weather.us selections, and I'm going to show the Euro. The Euro remains the worst case scenario with the winds gusting to 70 miles an hour, sustained near 40 miles an hour at sunrise tomorrow. The storm has sped up. In most respects, the GFS actually has done a better job in consistency in forecasting this storm and track. It's amazing how far offshore this storm is going to be, close to 200 miles, to have tropical storm force conditions so far out. It has more to do with the nor'easter aspect of it. Yeah, let's check the pressure gradient between the high pressure system that's come in with this beautiful, fun, dry, cool air, 1025 millibars centered over Ontario, and the central pressure on the hurricane, 957 millibars. That is about a 68 millibar gradient. What is wind? Air moving from that high pressure system into the center of the low pressure system that is Lee, and Lee is expanding, and Lee, the pressure is rising a little bit this morning, but then the Euro, here's the graphic for the Euro, lowering the barometer at the center of Lee back down to 959 when it makes its closest pass to Cape Cod tomorrow morning. And then it rapidly weakens as it makes landfall in Nova Scotia. So that out-to-sea solution that many were scoffing at when we were talking about this 5 to 10 days ago, the out-to-sea solution verifies for New England, but not southeastern Canada. Let's go to the same exact graphics I showed the last couple days. The Euro with the wind speed specifically for New England, most specifically for Cape Cod. The yellow mustard over Barnstable, that's 50 miles an hour. The gold mustard color over Chatham and the outer Cape Cod, that is close to 70 miles an hour. So we may have some gusts. These are gusts, not sustained. We may have some gusts past 65, 70 miles per hour, which is way better than 85 to 90 like it had a couple days ago. When you gust past 55, that's when tree damage generally starts to occur. And the rain, let's go to the rainfall forecast. It looks like the blue is about a ½ inch, goes to white, that's close to an inch. So a ½ inch to an inch of rain for most of Cape Cod until you get to outer Cape Cod and eastern Maine. Then you get into those darker colors and the reds. That's more like 2 inches or more. So most of us are missing the rain with this. There's so much I wanted to talk about. Let's show the 500 millibar flow. This is kind of the middle of the atmosphere. And there's the cutoff associated with Lee coming in and then racing out. And it leaves us with a beautiful Sunday with a little bit of ridging and comfortable air. And then look at this next trough coming in on Monday. There's another pretty serious front coming at us on Monday. All of a sudden, we have downpours again. And this is for most of New England. And then after that trough goes by, the West Coast. Wow, the West Coast. Big storms coming down out of the Pacific Ocean. But we have ridging in the east, so it turns into a really nice week next week with temperature in the 70s. On the West Coast, those storms look cold enough for snow. What'd you say? You want to see the snow forecast, the 10-day snow forecast? Going into the autumnal equinox next Saturday? Sure, why not? This is surf, ski, weather. Anyway, look at that. Wyoming, Nevada, Utah, California, Oregon, parts of Montana. That's about 6 or 7 states expecting snow in the next 10 days. For us, though, it's surf. It's a serious surf. I'm not going in the water, but I'm going to go look at the water tomorrow morning. And fortunately for us now, go back to Lee, nor'easter Lee. The tide forecast has really changed. Let's go to that Chatham weather.us again for that lowest barometer, which 2 days ago had us going to 982. And that would have been a serious storm surge, but now it's 995. And talking millibars, and pressure affects the water as it does the air. And with that high of a barometer, I know it's not that high, but much better than 982 for Chatham. That's tomorrow morning early, and that's before high tide. So there's much less of a storm surge concern. There's actually no storm surge concern. Nantucket has minor flooding forecast. This is from the Northeast River Forecast Center, and Sassuat Harbor here, just north. That's been my harbor almost my whole life. Actually, it's over that way a little bit, Tim. Yeah, there's my webcam. There's my dog. There's the Sassuat Harbor forecast. It doesn't even call for flooding anymore. So it's going to be pretty wild in the beaches in the morning. And with these winds, we're going to expect scattered power outages, but not the kind where we lose our power for a week. And even in Maine, I can give you some specifics for Maine there too. You can see the gold color stays offshore because the storm is going to be rapidly diminishing, even as a nor'easter tomorrow. There's not that much cold associated with the storm, so the fuel has been warm and humid air. Now the fuel is going to be some colder air, kind of drafting it like you're drafting a fire to get the embers to flame up again. That's what's happening with this. That's why the storm is remaining strong, and tropical storm warning still likely verifies on the national seashore and in parts of the Maine mid-coast and points east. Other than that, just a big blow. The wind is increasing today, and by this evening, the first outer bands of rain come into eastern Cape Cod, and then the worst of the storm is done by noontime tomorrow. We'll probably see the sun here tomorrow afternoon. The wind will go from 40 to 50 in the morning to about 20 to 25 in mid-afternoon, down to about 15 to 20 miles an hour by sunset tomorrow. And then Sunday just looks like a gorgeous day. And Monday, showers and storms. Nigel, way out there, is forecast to take a run at Bermuda. Bermuda did experience tropical storm conditions last night, and it's amazing. They may get a hurricane next week, and Nigel will regenerate our surf for us. It'll be interesting to see if there's anyone surfing tomorrow. Sunday, there's probably some leftover swell, and Sunday will be the surf day for those of us that don't like extreme surf. And then Monday also. And then the surf from Nigel probably arrives here in the middle of next week, so that storm will stay out to sea. I'm almost guaranteeing that. And then there might be something else coming out of the Caribbean around next weekend in Florida. There's a little low going by Florida. So never dull. Yesterday, another sunset cruise, but this time without tornado warnings. Technically, there's a tropical storm warning, but it wasn't in effect yet. So Carly Taft and all my friends from around here in Dennis and Cape Cod enjoying a beautiful sunset cruise on the Viking. The Viking, this ship, was an original Nantucket ferry. Then it cruised the Cape Cod Canal. Now it's doing highline cruises on Lewis Bay, and I highly recommend it. You can charter it. That's what we did yesterday. That was really fun. Great to see everybody, and I hope you all survive. We'll be reporting probably live from the beach if I can get a connection tomorrow morning. Otherwise, tomorrow's out the door. Could be really late. This is really long. There's 10 minutes. Talk to you. The TV news people have reported to Cape Cod a couple of days ahead of the storm. Fishermen don't look too concerned at this point. Charger. The swell has shown up though. It's about a 7-foot, 14-second swell on the other side of Nantucket. Yeah, I'm trolling you. It was a shark story.
Great to see you again, Tim, of course, as always.
John Maroney, former colleague at the TV station here, and still at it. And so how are the locals reacting to this pending tropical storm?
They are frightened beyond words, Tim. Nope. Everyone is sort of keeping their eye on it. Of course, they know how these things work too, So, they enjoy seeing the storms come in. They're not concerned about it at all.
Yeah.
I think they're entertained by the sort of the attention that it gets from the media.
The TVs.
But it's something that
Yeah.
people like to hear and talk about, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
actually.
we don't really get nervous until Cantori shows up.
That is true. I did not see him, although I did see the Weather Channel truck down in Chatham.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And I saw Beth Germano, your competition over at WBZ. We
Yeah.
all used to work together at
Certainly, yeah.
NECN,
She was
New
at
England Cable
NECN.
News.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going boating.
It's a great night to be out there.
Think I'll be safe?
It's hard to believe that we're actually going to get some sort of storm after what we've seen today.
At one point last week, it looked pretty serious, and
Yep.
it's been wavering back and forth, and now it looks like it's going to be sort of a glancing blow, kind of like a powerhouse nor'easter.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you surprised? I guess what I was surprised about was that it's come up this far as it has. I mean, I know they come up here, of course, but I wondered if it, and it's dropped in its intensity, of course.
Yeah.
I noticed that the water around the Cape this summer was a lot cooler. It's certainly a lot cooler than it was in Florida. But even in past summers, I would say that this was this about average this year, do you think, or was it?
Yeah, the Boston buoy temperature never really got above 70, and it often does. So yeah, there's a little bit cooler here, but it's a lot warmer down south where
Correct.
it was. But we had two storms, Franklin and Idalia, go by, so that kind of cooled off the water. And this is a peculiar storm that's going to kind of bend in our direction, but like most slow-moving systems and decaying, it's going to veer out in time to spare us the brunt. So Hurricane Bob is going to remain the storm of record in our life.
What do you think? We'll get another one this?
Yeah, this next one, Nigel, is supposed to threaten us in 2 weeks.
I like that name, Nigel, actually.
Yeah, but Joe Bastardi's coming to town. You know who that is?
I do not.
And he's going to do a snow forecast for December based on the hurricane pattern. So that's going to be interesting. I hope to interview him tomorrow. But pleasure to interview you today.
Great to see you as well,
John
Tim,
Maroney.
all the time.
Kind of Cape Cod. Family from Cape Cod. Charlie Taft, better off at a bar.
Coming when you can, that ain't who I am. I'm done letting this go too far. I'm better off at a bar. Oh, oh, oh. I'm better off at a bar. Oh, oh, oh. Sharing truth just gets you shame, but I ain't scared to walk by faith, or to sing for the home of the brave. When the lies and hate draw near,
Second night, going on a cruise. Second night with live music. This time it's where I grew up in Nantucket Sound. Charlie Taft. Where I was born, right over there, right of the crane. That's Cape Cod Austin. With the lake, sunset cruise. How do you like this weather, Rex? Did you hear there's a tropical storm warning? T-Rex, tropical storm warning. Are you concerned?
Hold back down, that's right.
Looks happy.
Thank you.
So the captain on our boat tonight is captaining that boat tomorrow, and he says it's going to be on a day-by-day basis. Oh. He's right up in that bridge, right in there.
That's the dream.
Wasted awake in a margarita land, searching for a mouth, lost secret soul. Hey, let's go. Some people claim there's a world in a play, but I know it's nobody's fault. Well, it could be my fault.
No, he can't put the pedal to the metal. He's in the no wake zone.
See the Lord's eyes, you touch our precious lives. The ones who give their lives, so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we love.